Connected Futures.
Connected Futures.
What's the key to speed, agility, and security today? It's automating your network. To do this, IT and security leaders must rethink their security strategies. I'm Stefanie McCann, Editor-in-Chief of Connected Futures. Today, I'm talking to Zeus Kerravala, founder and principal analyst, ZK Research. Can you think of things today that you would want to do with an advanced network that you just can't do today?
Yeah, I think the key is automation. And that's a good question as to what can I do tomorrow that I couldn't do today with the automation? Well, a lot of it is really in the area of speed. It's like, can I adjust my network and can I change security policies fast enough to adapt to what's going on? Now, as I mentioned before, that we're living in a world that's becoming more dynamic and more distributed. So my network strategies need to be able to follow that. So I'll give you an example, right? Many schools today are going through their own IoT initiatives. They're connecting more and more devices, metal detectors at the front door, thermostats, things like that. Now, let's say somebody hijacks your thermostat and is doing something that they shouldn't be doing on the network. Well, if I'm doing things manually and I'm having to look at network traffic, the amount of lag time it takes for me to recognize as a breach to the time that I can actually react to, industry average is about 100 days, right? The network very quickly noticed that this connected thermostat is now trying to access a BitTorrent, right? And then at that moment, it could quarantine it and minimize the damage. Right? Otherwise, what happens is in 100 days, there's a lot of damage that can take place. And so just from the ability to see what's going on and then be able to react to it, you have to have an automated network, right? And security is probably the biggest case where that's the best examples, because the bad guys are working with automated tools. I don't understand how IT can work with manual tools and still keep up.
So I want to make sure I heard this correctly. The thermostat they were able to hack through the thermostat to get to the Bitcoin traveling through the network?
No, they hijacked the IP address.
Okay.
And they pretended they were the thermostat.
Got it.
And then they were accessing these other sites they shouldn't have been accessing.
Okay.
Right, and normally that would take a long time to see. Right?
So we're talking a lot about experiences, but we touched on security, but we really need to get into that conversation around, you bring in these new networks, how secure are we going to be able to make them?
Yeah, so some fun, I'll put fun in quotes, ZK Research data points around security. First of all, did you know that the average enterprise has 32 different security vendors? And I've seen that number as high as 200, I've seen it low as 20, but whatever, it's a lot of different security vendors. And I've never had a chief information security officer say to me, when I get to 33 or 40, now I'll be secure. In fact, with security in the digital world, more isn't better, right? Second interesting data point is that today, 90% of security spend is actually focused at the very traditional internet perimeter, but only 27% of the breaches come through that point. So if you think of all the big breaches that we've had, big media company, big retail organization, financial institutions, most of those have been initiated from inside the network, right? So companies need to have an entire rethink about how they do their security, and more vendors isn't better. In fact, I would argue that you want to start with securing the inside of the network out versus the outside in, and then that's the best, and then that'll help you understand when breaches occur and things like that. So, I'll give you a very basic example. Take a shopping center, and if I've got a connected soda machine, very common nowadays, it sends back little bits of information every day telling Coke or Pepsi that I need, this is what my inventory level is. Well, what if somebody hacks that and hijacks that IP address and is using it to try and hack into point of sale systems? That soda machine should never connect to a point of sale system. At the moment when that first happens, the network will see it first. It can then take that soda machine, place it in a secure zone, and not allow it to talk to anything else until further investigation can be done. Right? So in that case, the only way to secure this highly advanced digital world that we live in where everything's connected is to do it from the network up, because trying to do it from the endpoint down is just far too slow. And so I think, and this is really one of the big challenges for IT and business leaders, is they must rethink their security strategies. They have to understand that more isn't better. Complexity is the enemy of security, and the simplification of it and the ability to scale it at a massive rate like we need to in an IoT-driven world starts with the network.
And the advanced network's going to help in terms of securing this perimeter?
Yeah, absolutely. The advanced network will help because much of what we do today will become automated, right? So in the example I gave with the soda machine being quarantined, if I have to have somebody physically run over and unplug it, or even if I have to have somebody physically reprogram it, that's too slow, right? In a digital world, the threat actors are working with machine learning, with automation tools, and they can very quickly do things to evade a lot of the security tools we have in place. So I need to fight fire with fire if I'm a business leader. I need to automate my own security policies in order to keep up with the bad guys that have automated theirs.
For more insights, analysis, and the voice of thought leaders, go to connectedfuturesmag.com.